All right. I think it's about time to get this show ready. Let's get it started here. All right, folks, this is Sherman Ray, and this is the Livin in Vegas podcast. Time to get this show started. Let's go. And welcome, everybody. This is Sherman Ray, and this is the Livin in Vegas podcast. I want to welcome you all to the show this morning. We come to you Monday through Friday. We talk to you about the people, the places, the trends, the events that shape the city of Las Vegas. Folks, when you think of living in Vegas, think living local and the return of cool. We want to welcome you all. Hopefully you had a great weekend. I know I personally had a really good weekend. I got some cool stuff in. A lot of work done this weekend. I mean, a lot of work done this weekend and a lot of rest. Because you got to have rest and work. Because if you don't have them both, it makes it really tough. But we're going to talk a little bit today about what happened over the weekend. We're going to talk about the magazine that we got put out. We got 2 magazines put out, folks, at the same time. It was just crazy that we got both of them out. And we got an update on an event that we've been planning. So much more. But before we do any of that, we want to welcome all of our friends from Facebook, YouTube. If you're joining us on YouTube, be sure, folks, right down here, subscribe to our channel. We've got to have you on there, folks. And don't just watch us. You know, I mean, it's always wonderful to watch, but subscribe and then tell a friend. Okay, tell a friend to watch the show too, and for them to subscribe also. Once again, I want to welcome all of our friends on Facebook. You're watching us. You might be watching us on our group page or on our business page for the magazine page itself, or on Livin Weekly, either one of those, or on Black Success. We're going to talk about that in just a second too. So on any of those, definitely you want to just chime in and say, hey, thanks. And especially if this is your first time and we've never said anything to you, say hello. And I'll say hello back because I can actually see you. So I'm looking over on a couple of our pages here, and yeah, looks like we got people already on looking at us. And we've got a couple of questions we're going to ask today too. So folks, stick around. We're going to ask a couple of questions because this is really important that we do this. So this might be your first time checking out the show. I'm Sherman Ray. I'm the publisher of Livin in Vegas magazine. It's up and it's online right now. You can go to our website, livinvegas.com. You can check that out. Cool stuff. I mean, some really cool stuff. As a matter of fact, one of the people that's in it, his name is Chris Demery. And Chris and his wife Suzette, we interviewed them a couple weeks back. And they are the owners of GNC Nutrition Center. And so they're one of the franchisees here in the Valley. So Chris asked me, he goes, hey, Sherm, I haven't seen, the article. I said, Chris, go to our website, livinvegas.com, and it's there. Plus, we did a video with them. And so we want to encourage you to to check that out. And once you do that, it'll give you a little, kind of a feeling out that you get to know who Chris and Suzette are, and then go out and visit them. Yeah, you can go visit them. They're a very cool couple. I mean, really are. Chris and I look a lot alike, folks. So if you see somebody you walk in the door, other than my beard, because I've grown a beard and mustache since I last did the interview with them. So other than that, we're identical. I mean, simply, you wouldn't be able to tell us. Okay, so maybe we don't look exactly the same. Chris is a little bit taller than me, and he's a lot skinnier than I am. So I'll just put it that way. I'm much bigger. I've got the guns here. I've been working on them. And so, but other than that, we're identical twins. And but Chris was asking about that. I'm sure he was asking because he wanted to know, hey, was my twin brother Sherman on the show? So, or were we together? Also, we produced another magazine. It's called Livin Weekly Magazine. And on the cover of Livin Weekly, really exciting, up to the minute stuff for Livin Weekly. We had Sandra Douglas Morgan. Is that Sandra Douglas? Oh, I forgot her last name now. I can see it right there. Yeah, Sandra Douglas Morgan. So Sandra just became the president of the Raiders. Yay! So we're very excited for her. And you can read some stuff about her because she's not just a pretty face, folks. She's not just a placeholder. This girl's got some skills. There's no doubt about it. You can read all about her in the magazine. Go to livinvegas.com or livinweekly.com, either one, and you'll see her on the cover. Click on it. You can read the whole article about her. But also, we talked about this last week. Well, let's go and talk about it now. We talked about, you can see on the cover of Livin Weekly this week, where it says Vegas Women Rise. Okay, and so we don't just talk about Sandra on this. Okay, even though what she did was spectacular, and you can read all about her in the Livin Weekly magazine. But we highlight at least 4 or 5 other women in Las Vegas who in 2022 have set the bar. Not just a little bit, a lot. And I follow these women, and I followed every one of them. And I think I'm one of the few people in town that have actually followed these women because I love, not just love women, okay? I love to see women excel. And I just happen to be in a great place where we live in a town where we've got some of the highest profiled rock star women in the nation here. You get to read about them in Livin Weekly magazine. Just go to our website at livinvegas.com. On the right-hand side, you'll actually see the magazine. Click on it. It'll take you right to the page, and you can check it. You can even download it. Download it, and you can check it out. So we talk about, I love UNLV, so we're going to talk about UNLV a little bit. The Vegas Golden Knights, the Raiders. It's all there. Livin Weekly magazine is also there, so very excited about it. Hey, let's pay a couple of bills here, folks, and we'll be back in just a second, okay? Hi, everybody. It's Sherman Ray for Livin in Vegas podcast. Are you a business owner that's looking to get the word out about his product, service, or even just a great message out there? Well, we'd like to give you that opportunity by being a guest on Livin in Vegas podcast. It's super simple. All you've got to do is contact us at advertising@livinvegas.com. That's advertising@livinvegas.com, and we'll schedule you for an interview on Livin in Vegas podcast. I'm Sherman Ray for Livin in Vegas podcast, where we talk about the people, the places, the trends, and the events that shape the city of Las Vegas. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Oh, yeah. That's it, man. I'll tell you. Some very cool stuff is happening here in Vegas. And once again, if you're a business owner and you don't have a big budget, that's not a problem. Contact us at advertising@livinvegas.com. We'll get you on the show, folks. We go out all over the place. Literally thousands and thousands of people see our video, our podcast, every single day. And how do I know it? Well, because people stop me all the time. I mean, it's really very, it's kind of heady because I'm on pretty much every day. And people see me in the grocery stores, all over the place, and they go, "Hey, I know you. And they go, "You're the guy on the podcast. You're the Livin in Vegas guy." I go, "Yeah, that's who I am." So I consider myself a cheerleader for the city of Las Vegas. I really do. I've lived here since the early '60s. Went to school here, went to college here, and have raised my kids here, and just love it. I really do. Some of you, I guess I could tell you some of this. Some of you don't know that I actually ran for office here in town. So I ran for city council. And the reason why is because I love Vegas. I really do. I've lived here so many years, and I just feel like I can do some things for Las Vegas because I have a history in the place, and I've seen where the city has come from, and armed with the knowledge of where the city wants to go, I think I can help facilitate that. and along the way, make some, just make it a lot better. As a matter of fact, I spoke to a lady yesterday, and her name is Becky. Becky, what's Becky's last name? It's one of my wife's good friends that she used to work with. But Becky works with a nonprofit here in town. And their nonprofit, what they do is they help people who, what's it called? It's called Friends of Vegas, I think it is. Don't quote me on that. I'll have to look it up in a minute. But they help people who, if you find that you can't pay your mortgage, they will help pay your mortgage for like 3 months. In some cases, they will put you into a place to live. In some cases, they'll give you a car, all kinds of stuff. I mean, they've got it's a pretty holistic thing. And so we got to talk about that, which is really cool to talk to her about this program that they're working on. And then we got to talk about the homeless situation here in Vegas, which many of you know is near and dear to my heart. We actually did a special on the homeless. I think it was in our first magazine. It definitely was a large expose on it, on the homeless situation. Because when I was running for city council, one of the biggest things that we saw is that everybody ran on the platform of that they were going to take care of the homeless situation here in Las Vegas. And of course, the situation has gotten worse. Okay. I still think that it should be a priority for the town because it's not going to go away. I think if we can become good at entertainment, we can get good at sports, we can get good at building parks and building buildings, we can probably get good at dealing with the homeless situation here, at least in this valley. Okay, we're not talking about the rest of the world, but we can definitely deal with it here in Las Vegas. And so that was part of our conversation. That's not what the show is about today, but it's definitely something we want to prioritize because it is something that is doable. Okay, it's not something that is not, that's way outside of the realm. I think what happens, and we're taking more time on this than I had planned, but that's all right. Las Vegas is a town of roughly 2 million people, okay, in the metro area. Okay, about 2 million people. About 3 million people in the whole state of Nevada. To put that in kind of a context for you, there's like 6 million people who live in New York City. Okay, just the city of New York. But in the city of Las Vegas, we have about 2 million people. We're bigger than Oakland. Our homeless situation is we have over 5,000 people who are homeless in the valley. Okay, 5,000. That's a lot. And that was the last time I checked. I haven't checked lately. Many of those people they were working last week and they lost their job. And then because of circumstances, now they're out on the streets. Okay. Some of them have mental problems. Some of them want to be out on the streets. Okay. So there's generally 3 types of people who are out on the streets. People it just happens. Okay. And they find themselves on the street. Some people have got mental issues. Okay. I know this for a fact that there's a lot of families who have family members who just, they can't handle them. So the law says, I know this is getting crazy. I know this whole thing here. Folks, I get wonky on this. I really can. The law basically says that if you're an adult, there's no law that says that you can't be crazy. Okay? There's no law in any place that says crazy people, we're going to lock you up. There used to be a law. There used to be a time when if somebody was or they suspected you, they'd take you off to a sanitarium. Okay? And in some cases that was, maybe abused. They changed the laws. Basically, if you're an adult right now, and let's say you lived with your parents and then you got crazy, something happened, schizophrenia, bipolar, whatever, your parents were just kind of stuck with it because they can't force you to take meds. They can't kick you out of the house. They can't do this, but unless you decide that you're going to try to kill somebody, that's the only time that the police will step in and go, hey, we'll pull you out and then we'll put you in some kind of treatment. Other than that, you're screwed. Well, we get back to the homeless situation now, is a lot of people who are out on the streets had something go sideways in their head. Parents said, "Hey, I can't take it anymore." They kicked them out of the house. Somehow or another, they were able to force them out of the house, and now they're on the streets, which does them no good. Okay, so um, how we can deal with this, so folks, we really can. It's going to take some real courage. It's going to take something down here with politicians and city council people and commissioners and all this other stuff, a holistic approach to dealing with this homeless situation, because each and every day, folks, the situation gets worse and worse and worse. And politicians keep saying, "Oh, well, I'll take care of it. I'll take care of the homeless situation." You're lying. Okay, I know a way to do this. I really do. Okay, and it's is it easy? No, it's not easy, but it's simpler than you think. And are we going to save everybody? No, there's absolutely no way. Some people just want to be out there. Remember, I said there's three types of people who are out on the streets. Okay, that third person who wants to be out on the street, there's nothing you can do about this. There's really nothing you can do about them. You're going to always, the Bible says, the poor you're always going to have with you. Okay. In one context, that really means that there's always going to be people who are, monetarily, challenged. But in another case, it really means there's some people who just want to be out there, and that's just the way it's going to be. Okay, but we can help those people who want to be helped. Okay, and that's really kind of what it's all about. How much time do we got? Boy, I'm talking so much. Anyways, folks, we're not going to be able to get to the show today. If you'd like to watch the show, we've got a lot of cool stuff we're going to talk about. Go to our website at livininvegas.com. That's livininvegas.com. Oh, a little after 9 o'clock, and you can watch the entire show. Okay, you can watch the entire show. We've got some really cool stuff that we want to talk to you about, so don't miss that, okay? All right, so anyways, this has been Sherman Ray for Livin in Vegas Magazine, the podcast, where we talk about the people, the places, the trends, the events that shape the city of Las Vegas. When you think of living in Vegas, folks, think living local and the return of cool. We'll see you again tomorrow, where we'll talk more about living in Vegas, okay? We'll see you later. All right, folks, we are back, and I want to thank you all. I know in that first segment I got really long. I started talking about homeless people. It's because it's really, I don't know if it's a passion, but it's something I am very passionate about. It's because I think I know the answer to it, and when you think you know the answer to something, you go, "Oh my gosh, why can't people do it?" Let's pay another bill here, folks, and we'll be back in just a second, okay? Hi, everybody. It's Sherman Ray for Livin in Vegas podcast. Are you a business owner that's looking to get the word out about his product, service, or even just a great message out there? Well, we'd like to give you that opportunity by being a guest on Livin in Vegas podcast. It's super simple. All you've got to do is contact us at advertising@livininvegas.com. That's advertising@livininvegas.com, and we'll schedule you for an interview on Livin in Vegas podcast. I'm Sherman Ray for Livin in Vegas podcast, where we talk about the people, the places, the trends, and the events that shape the city of Las Vegas. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. All right, folks, and we're back. Hey, once again, if you would like to check out, and if you're a business owner and you would like to be on our show, okay, and this is, just contact us, okay, at advertising@livininvegas.com. It's advertising@livininvegas.com, and we'll schedule it. We really, it's not that big, it really is. We've had a lot of people on the show, and it doesn't cost that much, so we'd love to be able to help you out, and you can be an underwriter for the show, and that's really kind of what it's all about. One hand washes the other. So there was a story. Let's get to some of the stories, because I know we were talking about the homeless situation for most of the first part of the show. And once again, it's just because it's not that it's a passion of mine, it's just that I'm passionate about it. And I think I know how to solve the homeless situation. And maybe it's something we go into more later, as a part of what we do here for the show. But, it's definitely something I can speak to with some authority. So let's talk about Fremont Street. So Fremont Street, they were talking about. I don't know if you've noticed it, but the crime rate down in Fremont Street continues to go up. And the reason for that is because we've got an element that it continues to rear its head here in Vegas that was never here before. And that is it's a younger crowd of people who are they're violent. It's the way it is, and it's not just Las Vegas. It's all over the nation where you have a younger element of people. I wish I knew why they're doing what they're doing. I mean, I could pretty much speculate why, but either way, they're manifesting themselves in being very violent here on the streets of Las Vegas, and so here in Las Vegas, what they're saying that they're doing, what we did back in I think 2018, is that right? But in 2018, we actually implemented. No, what year was it? A few years back, we implemented a curfew down on Fremont Street, and what that curfew did was basically said if you are 18 years of age and younger, your curfew is like 9 o'clock, 9 and 10 o'clock on Fremont Street. And now, because kids were going buck wild. I mean, they come down there, they're 18 years of age, 19 years of age, and they're 17, 16, and they're just acting stupid. So, adults who are down there just have a great time and spend a couple of their bucks and drink a little bit and kick up their heels a little. Have found it very annoying, one, to have a bunch of teenagers down there acting crazy, and number two, in some instances, fights break out, and recently people are getting shot. Right? It's not like when we were kids. When I was a kid going down Fremont Street, we would get in our cars. Imagine this: get in our cars, and Fremont Street in those days was open, and which means you could drive your car up and down Fremont Street all the way down. All the way up to the Union Plaza, the whole way, all the way in front of the Four Queens. When I was a kid, high school, all the way through high school, you could drive your car down Fremont Street. They didn't close Fremont Street and make it into the walking thing. And I know Fremont Street Experience. I worked on Fremont Street Experience when I was an electrician. And that was in 95. Okay? And they closed it off, and now it's a walking place, and no cars are there. Okay, that has pluses and it has minuses. The pluses is that you get more people down there, and they can kind of hang out and go into the casinos. The minus is you get more people down there, and the likelihood of something going off, it gets really high. So I really want to. Unfortunately, what they're thinking about doing is they're thinking about doing the same thing on Las Vegas Boulevard between Flamingo and Tropicana. Oh my gosh, are you nuts? Or between, just in front of the Bellagio, just closing that off. Oh my gosh, you got to be nuts. This would be a catastrophe. Not just bad, folks. This would be bad. The reason why is because you get so many people down there, and it's one thing to have people driving down there. Okay, when you're driving your car, you're not going to stop your car and get out and act a fool. If you're walking down there, guess what? Let's say you have 500 people. Not so bad. 1,000 people. 20,000 people on a weekend. 30,000 people in that confined. That's like a football stadium full of people that are just rubbing elbows with each other, and it could get ugly. One of our city commissioners, county commissioners, he has said this on at least 2 occasions. Hey, let's go ahead and let's make it into let's make that area into a walking area. And this is the same guy who brought recreational marijuana here to the town. Okay, and I have nothing against marijuana. I really don't. When I was a teenager, I'm sure I probably saw it happening at some point. Okay, but I'm an adult now. Okay, and there's places for everything. Okay, this guy brought in recreational marijuana, and now his suggestion is, hey, let's go ahead and block off this part of. Man, this is bad. So, I want to get your input on this, though, folks. I really need your input on this. Should Las Vegas close off the Las Vegas Strip? One. That's one question. Should the Las Vegas Strip be closed off to driving traffic in place of making it a walking area? Okay, between Flamingo and Tropicana. Okay, that's my question. Okay, we'll just leave it at that. Okay, I had a different question, but that's the question. Because I think that's the bigger question, because I think that's where they're trying to go to. We already saw what's going on downtown in the Fremont Street Experience, and that's been since '95. I know, because I worked on it. It has, since '95 to now 2022, that's what, 17 years? It has turned into something that they're going, man, we're gonna have to now make this into 21-year-olds only in that area at a curfew. We have a curfew now. The curfew has been 18 years of age. Now they're thinking about moving it up to 21 years of age, metal detectors, wanding you, and the whole thing, to go to a place that when I was a kid, we used to drive up and down that street all the time. Driving up and down. When I was much younger, there were actually even more people down there because guess what? They had retail down there. So there was a lot more retail down there. They had Woolworths. They had a movie theater down there. It was actually more family friendly when I was a kid. Now it's casinos only, and it's a party. It's just a big party down there. So that's the question of the day, folks. Should they close off the Las Vegas Strip like they're doing the Fremont Street Experience downtown? And don't just say yes or no. Okay, give me a reason why you think it should or you think it shouldn't, and the ramifications of what that is going to do. That's the most important part. Okay, what is it going to do if? And then tomorrow we've got another question. Well, we'll talk a little bit more about this tomorrow. But this is big. This is big for Las Vegas because the ramifications of curfews, metal detectors, walking areas is more than just, we're just going to go ahead and do this stuff. It really is. It's much bigger than just saying, okay, we're going to do this. There are ramifications. That's why, in this case, they probably should do a study. Okay? They should do a study, and the study should say, what the heck is going to pop off if we do this? Because once you open that, or let that genie out of the bottle, just like it is down in Fremont Street, the Fremont Street Experience, it is very tough, if not impossible, to put that genie back in the bottle. Okay? Just saying. It's not easy, and it'll probably come back and bite everybody in the butt for a long, long time. Anyways, we've got to go. We're a little short on today, but that's right. We're all good. So tomorrow, folks, we will finish up this conversation. We're going to talk a little bit more about what's going on downtown. We'll talk about what happened this weekend, and we never got to it. But if you would like to find out about what happened this weekend, send us your email. Send it to info@livininvegas.com. That's info@livininvegas.com. We'll put you on our mailing list, and you'll get all of this stuff in your email inbox each and every day. Or you can just go to our website at livininvegas.com. Excuse me. Front page. We'll have all the stuff that we should have talked about today on the show right on our front page. You can get it all and much more on livininvegas.com. This has been Sherman Ray, folks, for the Livin in Vegas podcast, where we talk about the people, the places, the trends, the events that shape the city of Las Vegas. When you think of living in Vegas, folks, think living local and the return of cool. We'll see you again tomorrow, folks, for Livin in Vegas podcast. Bye-bye.